Hi guys, thank you for joining me once again today. As you know about in this channel, I talk a lot about Nigeria and Nigerian politics, and recently I've been going back to history, like trying to learn more about Nigeria's history, more so history as it relates to my tribe, the Igbo tribe. And I remember while growing up, I remember my dad telling myself and our siblings the story of the Biafran Civil War. Obviously, I wasn't born when the war happened. The war happened from 1967 to 1970, so 3 years, a 3-year war, 1967 to 1970. And when I was reading this book, there was a country by Achebe. It kind of took me back to those stories which my dad told me. And while reading this book, it filled me with a lot of, will I call it anger? Anger at what my people had to go through. And I know it sounds as if I'm being facetious or I'm being too kind, but I never really understood the gravity of the Civil War. Honestly speaking, I didn't come to terms with what happened during those 3 years. I didn't come to appreciate. And it's funny because I come from Anambra State, Nigeria. I'm an Igbo. I'm Igbo. And it's funny that I didn't understand that history. And maybe, other people do, other people understand the history. But it wasn't until I read this book that I began to appreciate more what it means to be an Igbo man, or what it means for someone to be an Igbo woman. Like, this book took me through the steps before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and after the Biafran Civil War. It literally took you through all the things that happened. How the Aburi Accord, for example, wasn't kept to. The federal government didn't keep to the Aburi Accord. The Aburi Accord was where Gowon and Ojukwu met to kind of agree on some things, and Gowon, being the president of Nigeria, met the president of Nigeria at that point, didn't keep to his word. He walked you through what happened during the war, when you had 3 million people, 3 million Igbos, mostly children, die. And they didn't just die maybe because they were shot, which in some cases that was what happened. But they died because the federal government of Nigeria had a plan to starve them to death. So lots of kids, for example, died from kwashiorkor. Kwashiorkor is a disease which kids or anybody can have when they don't have good diet, good food to eat. So according to the Nigerian government, one of the means, one of the tools of the war was to starve Biafrans to death. And according to this book and according to figures, about or almost 3 million Biafrans were killed during this war. And I didn't, honestly, these are things you hear from people, right? Nnamdi Kanu talks about these things, people that love Biafra talk about these things, but you're like, I'm not really convinced. The argument isn't really getting to me. I don't really see what people are trying to argue, that Biafra is a good thing. I didn't really understand the whole argument. Not until I read this book, and not until I, dissected and began to appreciate what Achebe was trying to say. And now I'm fully convinced of the fact that both two things can be true. You can believe in Biafra and at the same time believe in Nigeria. So what do I mean? For example, me as an Igbo, I believe in the fact that Biafra is true. I believe in the fact that my history is real, that my people went through a lot of evil, my people were killed, our forefathers, our grandfathers, our great-grandfathers and mothers went through a lot of, Achebe talked of how they went from place to place to place. The military will come to Onitsha, they will have to move to Umuahia, Umuahia will get bombed, they will have to move to a different place, from place to place to place. Achebe talked about the airports in Uli. And it kind of made me to understand that as Igbo people, as Biafrans or as Nigerians, there's a lot of ingenuity that we have. There's a lot of skill, manpower, mental acuity that we have in Nigeria. That's only if our government let us be, only if we had better leaders, Nigeria or Biafra will be in a better place. So, in my own opinion, this book is the best book. This book is the book that every Igbo man or Igbo woman has to read. Like, I can't really explain enough what this book did to me. Like, when I was reading this book, I was just writing something that was like, what Nnamdi Kanu could not do, Achebe did it with this book. So Nnamdi Kanu's argument has always been about violence, right? Trying to divide based on tribe and based on race. I mean, if you listen to the kind of words he uses, they are very, very negative words to use. Trying to use IPOB, which supports violence, which supports kidnapping, which supports maiming people. And when you contrast that argument or that approach with Achebe's approach, Achebe just used pen and paper, just a book. And what Nnamdi Kanu could not do, Achebe was able to do it in how many pages? In almost 200 pages. That was what Achebe could do. So the argument I'm trying to make now is there are better ways to convince people to come to your side of the arguments. And this is what Achebe was able to do to me. Like from this book now, I can say proudly that Abumoye Biafra. I can say proudly that forever, this is something that I will hold dear to me, that not just did the Nigerian government undergo one, Yakubu go on, not only did they kill my people, they starved them to death. They stopped humanitarian efforts from coming to Biafra. There was a calculated effort by the Nigerian army to strip Biafrans from anything that is godly and right. And even after the war, when you had the federal government giving Biafrans £20 as money to establish their business, £20. That was what the Nigerian government gave to Biafrans after the war. They had these 3 R's: reconstruction, reconciliation, and something else, right? And they were trying to, after the war, let us try to use this to make Biafra or to make the Southeast better. And they gave each and everybody £20. And to believe or to think that at a time like that, when everything was happening the way everything was happening, for the Nigerian government to give just £20, it was, I couldn't just describe it. It was a lot of things. Honestly, I know I might sound a bit all over the place, but this book really, really, really will help you a lot to understand. If you're a Biafran, if you're an Igbo person, even if you don't believe in Biafra, right, you're still waiting to be convinced. Believe you me, this book will take you over that line. This book will convince you that both two things can be the same at the same time. Like I said, you can still believe in a one Nigeria, and you can still believe in Biafra and the cause of a people, of millions of people all over the world who want to see their people treated better in Nigeria. Nigeria hasn't changed since when Achebe wrote this book. Achebe talked about the corruption. He talked about the kind of bad leaders we have in Nigeria. And funny enough, it's still the same way it is today. Nigeria is still a country going down the drains. And only if we can grasp it, only if we can, arrest this condition now, it's only then that we can build a better Nigeria. If we can recognize as a country that whether you're Igbo, whether you're Yoruba, whether you're Hausa, all of us can all come together and build a better society for our people, then we can start having a conversation. But up till then, till whenever that time comes, in my own opinion, Biafra is something that, who knows, it might happen in my lifetime, who knows, it might happen in your lifetime as well. But I'm gonna put the link to this book in the description below. I'm gonna, link up this book so that you can go on Amazon and buy it, and wherever you buy your books. And I don't know, it's a really emotional book to read. If you're really invested, if you're really, keen on understanding everything that happened. Like I said, the stories our fathers told us, that kind of here and there, this story about this story about this person's heroism, the story about the Bagana massacre, for example, the story about so many things that happened during the war, right? But this book walks you through it step by step by step. But yeah, thank you for listening, guys. Let me know what you think. Please don't forget to like the video, don't forget to share the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.